I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go home.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet,
Just knock it off, you scum bucket.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go home. Ready to make stays.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the blood stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better shoot, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about it.
Happy days.
It's just one of those,
Happy days.
it's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go home. Ready to make stays.
I feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
And if my day keeps going this way, I just might.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here
Not Robert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 117 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. How is everyone doing this fine Thursday evening? Well, I'll be quite honest with everybody, but I'm a little bit annoyed at my what do you call it, like a finance platform called Coffee. Now, I'll just mention this just real quick just to get out of the way, but for a long time, ever since December of last year, I've decided to use Coffee as a ways of making a form of like a financial donations from everyone who watches the show. So for a while, it was a pretty decent platform to use. Of course, if people wanted to donate to me through Coffee, then of course they could do that, whether it be through a monthly donation or even just out of the blue donations type of thing during the show, and it was all great. Well, I decided to have a click on the link just to see if everything was still fine and dandy, and then it wouldn't show up on the actual front page of the website, which I thought was a little bit strange. So I thought, right, I'll try signing in. And then it turned out that it's no longer, well, it's still active, but it's not being published on the website. And I've not been given any information about this whatsoever. I've not been given an email. I've not received message from the people behind Coffee. I've received absolutely nothing whatsoever about this. And there's not even been given a reason as to why they unpublished the website or the page to begin with. The only thing I could really see is when I actually click on the your page has been unpublished. Had to look into that, and it's most likely to do with the fact that my page has been breaking a lot of community guidelines strikes or whatever the case may be. That would be either if it's to do with like hateful content or promoting the idea of that, which is never the case whatsoever regarding to the show or even my opinions. Obviously, my intent was just to give out truths to people, giving my own takes with a nationalist point of view and all of that. So once again, with that news, I've not received a single message from Coffee basically saying, hey, this is what's happening to your Coffee page. Either try and sort it out or we're not going to bother be doing business with you whatsoever. So I don't know what that's about really. And I think that's quite similar to what happened to No Chance. Because No Chance did a post on his Telegram basically saying his Coffee is no longer active at the moment due to the fact of well, according to Kofi, he was breaking the terms and conditions or the community guidelines or whatever. So I guess now, if I could say, I've fallen a victim, dare I say, with that as well, which is unfortunate. Which I mean, it's not really much of a big deal, is it? I mean, obviously, I'm going to still continue on making the show anyway, but I think that means if in future, if people still want to donate to me, or because they financially want to support me or anything like that, I'll need to find another way of maybe trying to sort that as a way of obviously trying to make it a replacement to Ko-fi. Now, I know maybe some people might say, well, why not just use your PayPal directly? I'm not going to use PayPal at this point in time. As I said on the not the last episode, but the episode prior to that, PayPal, of course, as we all know, has a very not a bizarre stance for free speech, but basically they're not exactly fans of free speech, are they? So I'm not exactly going to be supporting a platform like PayPal any longer. So with that, I'm going to see if I can maybe find a replacement to Ko-fi, and then of course see from there. But anyway, other than that, it's been a pretty quiet day. I've just been trying my best to get the show started, and I think we've got quite a show today because the announcement that happened today. I mean, I think a lot of people within the movement might have saw this coming, but to me, I was a bit kind of. I didn't really care too much about it, to be quite honest, because I mean, I think that at this point, the Tory party is pretty much a complete mess of a party. They're basically two sides of the same coin with Labour. But in terms of the quickness of with Liz Truss's PM reign, if you want to call it that, it's astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. But anyway, let me have a look at the chat and see who's in the stream here. I did see there was a small amount of people, but I see it's now jumped to 24 people watching the show, which is excellent. Really good to see. And I think that's actually without any of the shares on Telegram, which that's pretty decent in my opinion. But anyway, so let's have a look and see who's in the chat. We have Tazi in the chat. I don't think I've seen you before, but thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation, and welcome and welcome aboard. We also have the English Rose in the chat as per usual. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Kitchen Skillet is with us. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Marcus Crassus is in the chat, of course. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation tonight. Streaky Bacon, or Inshallah Streaky Bacon, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Picking Gaz 1972, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Gammon Sandwich is with us. Evening lurking again. Normal service will resume on Sunday. Fair enough. Thank you very much for watching or lurking behind the scenes with Mood of the Nation. Thank you very much, Gammon Sandwich. Rory Herbert is in the chat with us. He writes, just finished haggis and neeps in a creamy whiskey sauce ready for the stream. Well, that sounds actually really good. Funny you kind of mentioned that, because I was feeling a little bit peckish. I didn't really have much to eat today again, so I thought I might as well just make something before the show started. And I've decided to make myself 2 rolls with square sausage with brown sauce with it, of course. It was actually quite nice. I know many people might not view that as like a quality dinner type of thing, but again, I wasn't really too hungry, but I was feeling a little bit, maybe something to kind of keep me going for the time being. So I thought I would have that again before the show started, and now we're here. Also got my juice, which is I know that Monster is kind of like a Jewish product to begin with, but I'm kind of wanting to move over to Rockstar. I don't know if maybe that's as bad or worse as Monster energy drinks, but I'm trying to make this as my replacement. So what Red Bull is to Mark Collett, I want to make it as Rockstar is to me in that case with that, in terms of drinking energy juice when it comes to that. Who else is with us at the moment? Let me see. English Weather is with us. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Evening, Mr. Moody, as I am a follower of yours on Telegram. Did you get the message about the scam in your name that was trying to sell me some kind of crypto coins or something like that? A lot of people have actually been messaging me about this. Not necessarily asking, oh, is this you kind of thing, because I think people know my actual username anyway with that. But yes, the guys from, Kerr from PA Young Scots has pointed this out. Laura this morning pointed this out as well, because she even asked me, did I see her Telegram post about this? And if I got the original post here. Let me see if I can read this out, because I think it was a bit funny looking back on this, but but all that stuff has been going on as of late. Like a lot of people pretend to be certain people trying to sell crypto online, and it's just really. I mean, we can all joke and laugh about it, but it does come off as very obnoxious, very scumbaggy behavior with that. But All right, here's Laura's original post. So this person pretended to be me on Telegram. So it's at Chief Moody, but that's not my username, of course. But I'll just read out the messages between this crypto bot and Laura. So the message reads, "Hello, great patriot. I'm seeing your comments on my page. Thanks for being active on my page. How long have you been following?" And then Laura responded with, "I bet you're secretly pleased after voting for Yorkshire for Indigenous Peoples Day." To which the bot responded, "Yes, I am. And you?" The usual responses you would normally get was with the crypto bots like that. But it's quite funny because obviously we did a joke where I came out to say, like, "Oh, yes, I actually did voted for Yorkshire for the Indigenous Peoples Day back during the summer." Which, I mean, of course, is pretty funny stuff, but it's just, it's but yes, to answer your question, English weather, I did see that, and it's funny to see that you yourself also have seen a post like that as well. So I mean, I think a lot of people are starting to get that, not just someone claiming to be me, but there's been other crypto bots pretending to be PA, like the official channel. There's ones pretending to be PA Scotland channel type of thing. I think there was one, I think St. Harrison posted something about this, I think yesterday or the day before, where he had received a message from, again, claiming to be Sam Melia, but it's clearly not. It's another crypto bot. It's pretty funny stuff with that. It's really, really funny stuff. Anyway, but yeah, sorry, I did see that English weather. I did see that. It's quite funny that. Who else is with us? Picking Guys 1972. I don't know if I read your name already, but again, thank you very much for watching the show. Inflation could be a tool to decant these people not heating bills in Africa. I remind them. Fair enough. Yes, you cooking vehicle. Bill Affing is with us in the chat. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Ochiai-san is with us. Speaking of the devil, me, hello. Well, thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm sorry I've not received given you an email or anything like that. I've been pretty busy with a couple of things. What I will do is, Ochiai or Ken, wherever you want to be called. Again, my apologies with that. If you, I would say after the show tonight, because I think I'll finish around about maybe 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock, depending on what I tackle and all of that. I promise you, I will send you an email right after the show tonight. Again, we can discuss on when you want to come on the show, and we'll see if we can get that sorted out at some point. Because Sunday, I'll still do a show on Sunday, but I think I'm going to be a bit busy on Sunday as well, at least prior to the show happening, because I start the show at 5 p.m. on Sunday. I'll be going out prior to that, again, doing some like leafleting and all of that. But again, we'll have a chat with that, and we'll see from there, of course. Let me see here. Stop being gay. Get some desperados down, you Muchifredy. Well, I'm not really a drinking person myself, but I tend to drink energy drinks when it comes to that. So anyway, let me see here. I think that's me all up to date with the chat. Anyway, I think pretty much everyone's here. There's Rigor Mortis in the chat. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation. I got one from Sam from English Rose. Yep, indeed. Let me see. Joe Marsh is with us. Joe Marsh, like. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Greatly appreciate you being here. Feeling the privilege here. All right, I am. Thank you very much. Excellent. So 27 people watching the show already, which is really good. Another thing to mention, I think, is to do with Wesley Russell. I think he's back. He's going to be streaming live tonight at 9 p.m. this time around with his show, of course, Renew Britannia. What I'll do is, I think he normally streams on DLive or even Odysee. I'll see if I can post the links for his stream around about the time when my show finishes tonight. And then that way, if you guys want to, you can just head straight over to Wesley's stream afterwards if you guys want to. But anyway, let me just have a quick drink, and then we'll just get started with the topic at hand here. Because today, again, I don't know if I might be the only person who never saw this coming, but when I saw the news, I was like, wait a minute, is this a joke? Like, there's no way this has to be like legitimate. Like, there's no way in hell. But anyway, but yes, the news is today on the 20th of October 2022. Just after 45 days of being the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Liz Truss has decided to resign from her position, which is pretty funny, to say the least. I mean, it's funny when there was like a competition between her and like a piece of lettuce, and the lettuce won at the end of the day. So I think, but what I think is really funny about this whole thing is the fact that when Liz Truss was in office, and now of course the Prime Minister of Great Britain, with the Tory party, I just thought it was really funny seeing all the stuff about how there's not going to be any white man working the top positions or top jobs when she's in power in her part. 44 days I now see, but it's 45, all right. Well, that's fair enough, yeah, when it comes to that. And then it's like 44 or 45 days later, now we get this, which is really funny, considering we've been told over and over again that diversity is our greatest strength, and maybe that maybe it might actually help us, might actually help out the country. Well, turns out after today that was not the case whatsoever. And I remember having a conversation with the guys at PA Talk, episode 52, I think it was, when I was on as a guest. Of course, Sai and me and Pim were on there. We were talking about this, and we were actually going through the video clip where it was just when Liz Truss was appointed as the Prime Minister for the UK, and we see the footage of all of the Tory politicians were basically laughing and fawning at the Labour side of things, and basically saying like, for years we've had, like, was it 3 Tory politicians now being like Prime Minister for the UK? How come Labour has never had anything like that at all? Well, we see what happened today, and it's an absolute shambles. It really is just a complete absolute shambles with that. So it's a WEF global stitch up that the bastards have done us over good and proper. Fair point, Jojo Gizmo. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. A pathetic shit show of the government. It really is. It was just absolutely embarrassing. I mean, from what we've seen when she first got in as PM up until now, a complete embarrassment. And I don't know, this was actually something I've been thinking about like all day today in regards to this. Now, I don't know if anyone else have said this as well, but hear me out what I'm about to say here. I don't know whether or not if it's fair to say that this is all kind of done by on purpose or by design. So what I mean by that is, before she became PM, obviously she was going up against Rishi Sunak. So when she was selected to become the Prime Minister of the UK, obviously, as we all know, from that point on up until now, she has done a completely piss poor job. I've actually seen like a news clip of in the cabinet, I think it's called, or the shadow cabinet, wherever it's meant to be called, where all the Labour members, of course, Liz Truss was nowhere to be found. Keir Starmer, everyone else within the Labour what side of things were just like, oh, where's the Prime Minister? Well, surely she should be here to answering questions. Again, she was absolutely nowhere to be found, and it was just a train wreck. It was a complete utter train wreck. And of course, now what we're seeing today, she completely has resigned as the Prime Minister. Oh dear. So while I'd like to say that the diverse cabinet failed on its own demerits, I hope I pronounced that right, there is the confounding factor of financial market shenanigans and an internal globalist coup. I wouldn't be surprised at that whatsoever. I would bet a lot of money on the new PM being hot for Ukraine. I wouldn't be surprised with that either. In fact, there's a question from Roy Herbert. Chief, really does the decision on the replacement Prime Minister go back to the Conservative Party members? I don't know. I mean, I would imagine so, because they're still technically in power anyway, or they're still the main political party that's in charge of the government. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, how many Tory members have become the Prime Minister at this point? So we had David Cameron. So that was, like, of course, back in 2016, but he resigned after the whole Brexit vote. And then we had Theresa May, I think, that came afterwards to take. I don't know if there was someone in between David Cameron or again, someone might point that out in the chat, but I think it was David Cameron, then it was Theresa May, and then I believe it was Boris Johnson, I think. And then, of course, we had Liz Truss So that's 4, and now she completely resigned after 44 or 45 days as prime minister. So now there's a lot of talks about, well, who's going to replace Liz Truss, and I'm calling it right. Hold on one sec, Cameron, May, Bojo, and yeah. So I was right on that. Thank you, Rigor Morris. Thank you for the clarification on that. It is the first of the list to reach a 100 votes. Wow, amend the grassroots members. Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely too sure. Maybe they might have a hand in the voting, but again, I'm sure it's the Tory members. Yeah, maybe with that. Gotta run. Hope to catch you in a bit. No worries, Tazzy. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again sometime in the near future on watching the show. That is. But anyway, as I was saying, at this point in time, again, this might not be an original point to make. Maybe some people might share this opinion. I don't know. But at this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised that Rishi Sunak is going to come in to be the replacement to Liz Truss. Because, like I said, before Liz Truss became the Prime Minister of Great Britain, there was that it was between her and Rishi Sunak. Now, I was quite convinced that Rishi Sunak was going to be the one to take over Boris Johnson, because we all know that the Tory party at this point in time are not conservative or in any way, shape, or form. They're anything but conservative. I mean, just look what happened when Liz Truss got in. I mean, Theresa May was going on her high horse about, oh, we've had multiple conservative prime ministers in the past since the 80s, and 3 of them have been women. Why hasn't Labour done anything like that at all? And now, again, they're trying to appease the whole diversity quotas, basically trying to make a point about, oh, look, see, we're not racist, we're not sexist or anything like that. Look, here's our new Tory Prime Minister. She's a black, half Muslim, disabled woman in a wheelchair. It's ridiculous. Why do they care about that? I've already made that point about that on the PA Talk. If you guys want to hear more about that, you can go back and watch episode 52 of PA Talk, where I give a point about that, because it's just ridiculous. Again, because the fact that the Tory party seem to care more about that than actually caring about the real issues at hand here, again, just goes to show that they don't really give a damn about the country, and they're only just part of the problem, especially when it comes to the whole anti-white rhetoric. Now, part of that, there's just one set from Joe. I would have loved it if it was Rishi that hadn't lasted 5 minutes. I mean, maybe in a different, what was it that people normally say it, like a timeline or something like that? I mean, I don't know, but there's all possibilities with that. But the light comes through the tunnel, and it's Donald Trump installed, I hope. I mean, I think we all know that it's not really going to happen, about that whatsoever. But I just got an email from, that's fine, no worries. I'll respond to him later on. That's perfect. Sorry, as I was saying, I mean, I don't think like Trump is going to be involved in British politics or anything like that at all. But even then, I think he'll be almost exactly the same as Liz Truss in terms of like, oh, Israel are not only our greatest allies, but they're our greatest friends. We need to help them out with everything. It's like, no, absolutely not. So at this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, there was actually something I've seen earlier on about that, about this. So there's a theory going around that now that Liz Truss has completely resigned as Prime Minister, there's rumors that the person going to be replacing her is going to be Rishi Sunak. I don't know if that is the case, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if he does become the new Prime Minister, because for 2 reasons. One, the Tory party could again turn around and say, well, look, again, we're not racist. Look, our Tory Prime Minister is an Indian man. Like we're clearly we're not racist. But even if he doesn't do well as the Tory Prime Minister, if he is a complete fuck up as well, then by the time when there's like another general election comes around, there's going to be a chance that people will be voting Labour just so they can get rid of the Tory party, because at this point in time, everybody is just sick and tired of the Tory parties because they're just a complete joke. Like I said, it was David Cameron, then Theresa May, Boris Johnson, and then Liz Truss. So that is four Tory members within the Conservative Party that have been prime ministers all the way back since, when was the Brexit vote? Was it 2016? I think it was. So 2016, 2022, 6 years. So for the past 6 years, we've had 4 changes when it comes to the Conservative Prime Minister, possibly five, again, depending on who's the fifth one going to be. And it's just an absolute joke, isn't it? It's a complete shit show of a party at this point. Thank you, Roy Herbert, Chief Winnie, for Prime Minister. I mean, I don't know if I would do a good enough job, but at least with that part, I would be honest about that. I don't know if I would do a good enough job with that. I would definitely care about the British people, and I would definitely do a much better job. I don't know if I would be the right person for it. That type of idea. I think there'd be people within the nationalist movement who would be a much better candidate as Prime Minister than I could ever be. But that's just me, of course, with that. But thank you, Roy Herbert. I appreciate the comment there. Chief, I just emailed you. Now I'm going to lie back down. No worries, Richie. Thank you very much. Thank you for sending me the email. I'll send you an email after the show finishes, and then we can sort out from there with that. But thank you for that. Thank you, good sir. Shower after shower of poo from Picking Gas, 1972. Yeah, when it comes to the Tory party. I mean, actually, there was actually a video. Oh, hold on 1 minute. Rigor Mortis, Chief, if you can make it to 50 days, you would have beat Truss, but that's not saying much. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough with that. If I can, there's actually a video I want to show you guys about this in terms of the sheer popularity has completely decreased ever since Liz Truss came into office, if you want to call it that. I don't know if that's more like an American terminology, but I thought this was pretty funny. Where did I see this video? Hold on a second here. Sorry, I'm going to see if I can try and get this up in the moment. Now, I think the video in question is from some form of pro-Labour, like leftist type of person. I don't know, but it kind of comes off that way. But it's only just like a just below a minute long video. But again, just to give you a bit of context as to how bad their popularity has decreased ever since this happened, that wallpaper would look good at number 10. I actually would. I mean, I would definitely say that if I were to be as Prime Minister, I would definitely have this all over the office walls. Part of the whole wallpaper nationalism, definitely. So that would be, might not be a very important aspect as being a Prime Minister, but I'll definitely have this type of wallpaper all over my office walls. So that would be that would be pretty based. Anyway, let me see if I can share this, and then I will showcase that video. Actually, just before I do so, I just want to make sure it doesn't come up with porn information. Nope, that's fine. Perfect. Right. I won't full screen it just yet, but again, I'm pretty sure people might have seen this video already, but just to give you guys a bit of context in terms of the diminishing popularity of the Tory party and just how bad it is when Liz Truss was in, let's have a gander at this clip. So like I said, it's about a minute long, but it's this video, about a minute long. It paints a really horrific picture when it comes to the collapse of the Tory party when Truss was in as Prime Minister. Let me get to here. Right, 3, 2, 1.
Still, polling suggested that Labour had a 36-point lead and Starmer a 47-point lead on Best Prime Minister. This means that since the Queen's mourning period finished a month ago, Truss's approval rating has fallen 66 points, or just about 17 points per week. She's also gone from being 10 points behind Labour, which would translate to about 220 seats in the next general election, to being 36 points behind Labour, which, according to the Electoral Caucus, would mean literally 1 seat for the Conservatives at a general election. In other words, she's lost roughly 55 seats a week, or 10 seats every working day. Now, while this result is unlikely to ever happen, it's hard to see things getting much better for the Tories anytime soon.
Oh, that is bad. Oh, that's really bad. That's you can't make this stuff up. It's just that's painful. Imagine being like a member of the Conservative Party and then seeing all that going around. Oh, that is bad. Ah, dear. Oh, Mean Peem is in the chat. Hello, Mean Peem. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Chief really has forgotten the first rule of lighting: soft at the front, harsh at the back. Yeah, I mean, look, I do try my best. I mean, again, it might not be perfect lighting, but I'm going to see if I can maybe try and invest in proper lighting at some point as well. Because, I mean, the torch over there is great. But I'll see if I can maybe find something in the near future with that. But Mean Puma, I think the Chiefs just forgot the lighting full stop. I got the torch sitting at the far front over there, and I got the main room light on. So again, it might not be the best, but I'll try my best to see if I can invest something with that in this case. I just thought she wasn't very happy with the first paycheck. Well, maybe not. I mean, especially she's working for from the tribe, if you will. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just a complete shambles at the end of the day. But Ochiai, just real quick, if you're still listening, I just received your email just now, which is good. I'm not going to respond to it just yet, but I'll definitely respond to it after the show ends today. So again, thank you very much for doing that. Get yourself a strobe light and start doing nationalist raves. That actually sounds like a great idea. I'll definitely see if I can have a look into that as well. So we'll see from that. Let's all get him a decent lighting setup for Christmas. I mean, like, well, I'll see if I can sort that out regarding to that. But thank you for offering that idea with that. Thank you for that, case. If Liz had worn a dress like Chiefy's wallpaper, she would have lasted decades. Yes, if she wore a dress that had this pattern, I think maybe she would have been the best prime minister ever. That there's just no denying that whatsoever. So, dear. It's mood lighting. I see. I see what you did there, Linda Hunter. I see what you did there. Let's see. Splendid idea. We can all drop an E to watch. Nationalist raves. Now you're talking. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see with that. Well, it's funny people mention that in terms of maybe having a nationalist rave when it comes to better lighting, because from what I've heard from like a few episodes ago, my song choice, according to some people, have been awful. So, I mean, I could maybe play the classics like what was it called? It's a song from Trainspotting. I think it's Born Slippy or something like that. I could maybe play those types of classics, but I mean, or maybe some folk music. I don't know, but I mean, apparently, from what I've heard from many people in the past, my song choices have been absolutely crap. But again, it's my show. But I just thought I would make that point real quick regarding to that. So, no name. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Turkey Truss got the job. Will it be Greasy Rishi sliding in as Prime Minister, or Bojo the Clown on a comeback tour? Wait, can Boris Johnson can come back? I thought as soon as you were Prime Minister, then that was it. You cannot ever do it again. Because I don't know how Boris Johnson can come back. Because I thought he was completely done after what they did to him. Well, of course, I wasn't a fan of him to begin with, but I mean, I don't think the Tory Party would want him back. But I don't know. I guess in today's clown era, anything can happen at this point, but you never know. The board of deputies will be meeting soon to decide our next master. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm convinced at this point it's going to be Rishi Sunak as the prime minister. But anyway, no, Harold Wilson was prime minister twice. Oh, I see. Right, I see. Interesting. So maybe Boris Johnson might come back. I don't know, but I guess with that, we'll just need to wait and see with that. But what I will say on the matter is, don't be surprised if it's either, Boris Johnson, if he does come back, or if it's Rishi Sunak. I'm very convinced it's going to be Rishi Sunak. Because I think, again, maybe this is me kind of looking way too deep into it, but I'm kind of convinced that all this is going on is all kind of done by on purpose or by design, so that they could try and get more like Labour, basically having the Labour Party taking over the Tory Party at this point. But I don't know. Maybe, again, that's just my opinion on that. I don't know if people share that, or maybe people think I'm looking way, way too deep into it. But I guess we'll just need to wait and see with that. McPherson's farewell, Scotty Lad, police chief. We'll see. We'll definitely see with that. I don't want to see any let's see, as Premier of the UK. That's fair enough, Chia. Yeah, fair point. I mean, I'm like that as well. I would much prefer, of course, a white person being a prime minister, just like I would want a Japanese person as, what do you call them? Do you actually call them like prime minister of Japan as well? Like, so that type of idea. I don't know if it's president or prime minister of Japan, but yeah. Let me see. Gladstone was PM for 4 separate times back in the 19th century. I see. A scheduled regime change. Another favorite is the Masons apron by the. Yeah, it's prime minister, right? Fair enough. Okay, that's with regard to Japanese politics, right? Fair enough. Boris will be the next PM. Only he can rescue the Tories from Labour, and Keir Starmer shits himself, confronting the fat fuck Tory party twat Boris. Greasy Rishi was the top pick of the World Economic Forum. Apparently, the domain name Ready for Rishi for his campaign website was registered in 2020. I did not know that. That's interesting. Really interesting facts of that. I see. All right, perfect. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll move on from there, and then we'll just move on to another topic, which I do have a couple of articles I can have a look into with that as well. I just thought it'd be maybe a good way to maybe start off the show with that, because again, I think a lot of people within the nationalist scene kind of saw this coming, but I think maybe I kind of saw that. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the whole thing. Maybe a couple of things here and there, but I never expected it to be this quick. Because after all, as we established, she was only prime minister for about, what was it? As we said, 44, 45 days, I think it was, but. Which is, well, a lot of people are saying it was like the shortest reign for any prime minister in the UK history, that says a lot. That really says a lot with that. But Nigel Farage is talking about making a comeback if he can gather enough people to start a movement. I have no time for Nigel Farage. He really comes off as like a Zionist shell. And I'm seeing I actually asked a question to a fellow, well, not a fellow, but I think is the deputy leader for UKIP by the name of Rebecca Jane, I think her name is. Because her whole shtick at the moment is trying to hashtag and, of course, quote unquote, unite the right. So I asked her a pretty straightforward question on Twitter, basically asking her, if there's ever a point, would you, you might not necessarily agree with us, but would you be willing to work with Patriotic Alternative as a way of, working, or uniting the right? Of course, I think we all know the answer to that ever since what Sam and Laura said on their show when PA Northwest and also Sam and Alec that were there in Blackpool for the Charlene's Downs demo. Apparently, UKIP told PA that they were not welcome to be there. So of course, Antifa basically said, "Oh, you better be, prepared or be careful with what happens when you come down here." They were nowhere to be seen. UKIP, as I said, they basically told PA, "Oh, you're not welcome here. You're basically you guys are the far right, quote unquote, or something to that effect." And they didn't even show up. So the only group that were there, basically giving a point about the grooming gangs and what happened to Charlie's Down, was Patriotic Alternative. So what does that tell you then when it comes to UKIP? The same political party that claims to stand for the average British people, especially talking about the grooming gang scandals, how there's like too much illegal immigration. They want to emphasize on that. But of course, they were nowhere to be seen other than Patriotic Alternative, which again, what does that tell you? What the hell does that tell you exactly? Farage is a shill, a rampant capitalist. He's pro-immigration. Yes, he really is. Let's see. Bubba Kate Paris for Prime Minister. I could see that. Yeah, she is very dedicated to the whole. Sorry, there was a fly there. To the whole movement. Anyway, so I could see that. You've got to start light to go all to the right. Yeah, fair point, Aldor. Fair point. Right then, let's move on to something completely different. I'm just going to see if I can get my notes up here. I can't believe I'm forgetting to open that. And as a matter of fact, I keep forgetting to do this every single time, but I'm sure English Rose or another mod in the chat will do this as well if they don't mind. Of course, posting the links for all of the social medias if you guys want to follow me there. So those will be links for my Odysee, my Telegram, Gab, and Twitter. Again, with Twitter, if you're still on that, but I mean, I'm still surprised I'm still on it to begin with. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Twitter, I've been gaining a lot of support and a lot of follows as of late. At this point in time on Twitter, I have 691 followers, which I mean, that's for me, that's pretty decent. I'm actually surprised at that. But yeah, the links, if you want to follow me on other platforms, will be down below here. And I'm sure there'll be the links coming up in the chat as well. So again, if you haven't followed me on those platforms, please do so, especially if you want to get some updates about future episodes of Mood of the Nation or anything like that at all. You can always follow me on Telegram. That's where I mostly do all of my you can follow Chiefrey on these platforms. Indeed, English Rose, thank you very much. Yeah, you can follow me on Telegram. That's where I mostly do all my daily updates. Anyway, in case something happens to my YouTube, now for my YouTube, it's not a matter of will it get deplatformed. It's more of a matter of when will it get deplatformed. And if it does get deplatformed or suspended or whatever, then definitely follow me on Odysee as like a backup channel type of idea. So if I get deplatformed on YouTube, then I'm just going to be streaming on Odysee from now on up after that point. So definitely do so just in case if that does happen at some point. There's a comment from Streaky Bacon. That's the links coming in the chat. Thank you very much, English Rose. Greatly appreciate you doing that. Streaky Bacon, Mark Collette will wheeling Harley Davidson with Laura on the back through Downing Street 2030. Mark my words, our new PM. That would be pretty based. That would be very based. Linda Hunter, Chief Pretty, anything goes. Paul Joseph Watson put up a vid. Reschool girl horrendously murdered in Paris. I'm assuming that's to do with the Lola Davier case, which is something that I talked about on the last episode of Mood of the Nation. But yeah, it was a completely horrendous case. As a matter of fact, there was actually an update I wanted to talk about that as well, because apparently, I'll just finish off the comment and I'll get into that just now. But now it's disappeared. Did you see it at all? Yeah, as a matter of fact, as I said, Linda, I talked about it on the last episode. I don't know if you catch that, but the whole point was it was just I talked about the case in its entirety, just so that it gets more awareness. Because yeah, as you said, almost nobody was talking about it except for the Daily Mail. There was an article by the New York Post, I believe. And that's it. Like, the mainstream media are not really talking about it. Well, to be fair, actually, I think it was GB News that they talked about it. In fact, actually showcased a video on that stream as well. But other than that, no one's talking about it, except for GB News, Daily Mail, New York Post, and of course, people on our side, especially on places like Telegram. No one's really talking about it. So I thought I wanted to be one of the streams where I actually do talk about the subject matter, because I think it's absolutely shameful that this case is not being told to many people. So I thought I might as well just do the good thing and actually make a stream about it, because I think it's important that Lola Davier gets remembered, because she was a 12-year-old girl whose life was taken from her. She was tortured, raped, and then she was murdered by an absolute monster of a person, an illegal immigrant who really had no business being in France to begin with. So once again, Lola has been a victim or been put on the ulster of multiculturalism once again. Absolutely just shameful. And I think there was actually a bit of an update I want to talk about, because I did see this on Telegram. I'm not sure exactly who yeah, GB News was on it. Yeah, I think I did showcase a video about it. Had Eva, somebody, some Norwegian woman who was on there. But yeah, I did a show about that this past Tuesday. There was an update I was going to say. I did see this on Telegram. I'm not sure which channel I saw this on, but apparently from what I've heard, I don't know if it was from the National Justice Party or something like that, but from what I've heard about this overall case in terms of like the aftermath. So apparently the mayor, I don't know if it was the French Prime Minister himself, Macron, or if it was like the French mayor or the Paris mayor or someone like that, basically told the parents to not speak about this because, again, they don't want to cause any racial tensions or something along to that effect. But basically, what I read up about was someone's response to the whole thing, and basically what they made a point about was, imagine having your daughter being murdered about this whole thing, and then being told that not to speak about this or keep your mouth shut, all for the sake of diversity and all of that. Which, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually said to the parents, because again, look what happened to the whole grooming gang scandal. When the parents were trying to make complaints about this, the police did absolutely nothing whatsoever because they didn't want to be labeled as racist. So they just let all the girls suffer in the hands of multiculturalism, which is just absolutely just shameful. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the same scenario with this whole Lola Davier case. So I think what I would ask people to do is definitely just keep pushing this message across to many people, because again, Lola, who's another victim of multiculturalism, not just her, by the way, there's been plethora of victims in the past. I think even some of them I've covered in the past episodes of Mood of the Nation before. But I think it's just absolutely shameful that all of our white girls have been made as victims of these cases, and then for the parents to be told basically to shut the fuck up, all for the sake of diversity. Like, you just can't make it up. You really can't make it up. It's absolutely just shameful behavior, that. Absolutely shameful. Exile Viking, good evening to you too. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Evening, Moody and Moodlings. Sorry I'm late, but I'll watch the replay when it's finished. Not to worry, you haven't really missed much of anything, really, except for I was talking about the resignation of Liz Truss that happened earlier this afternoon. And I was just talking about, or I was responding to Linda in the chat about the recent Lola Davier case that happened in Paris. I believe, I think the discovery of her body, I think, happened about like a week ago or something like that, or I think it happened last Friday. So it'll be about a week at this point in time. So 12 girls this year. Yeah, I know, it's shocking. There have been 12 similar cases in France this year so far. So I mean, 12 cases within a year, like similar to Lola's. That's just really shameful. That, I mean, it really just comes to the point where you just have to ask yourself, when are people going to wake up to this? You know, how many more children or people have to be victims of this overall, like, made up, like, multiculturalism experiment that people have to wake up and say, you know what, enough's enough. Like, honestly, but it's getting to the point where it's just getting way, way, way worse at this point. Is it really going to come to the point where, like, an immigrant? Yeah, exactly. Another example, Emily Jones. If I even talked about Emily Jones in my speech back in the spring conference with PA. But sorry, just going back to what I was saying. Is it really going to come to the point where, like, an immigrant, regardless if they're legal or illegal, will actually drags a child and rapes them right in front of you for you to be like, you know what, enough's enough. We're not going to take this bullshit anymore. Like, when will it be the breaking point for people to realize enough's enough? We're not going to take this anymore. And I think I was just going to say, I was going to say, when it comes to that, I think there's people that are starting to wake up to it. I think it's more of a case of slowly but surely, but we are doomed until soon. It will be France that overturns it, possibly supported by Russia, etc. France needs to consider having another revolution. It's gone to the point that voting is now pointless and doesn't make any difference. The English soccer fans, the debacle video evidence suppressed. If normies would accept the fact everyone in the dinghies is a criminal from France, yeah, it's shameful. That seem to be people that gives more of a damn about, say, like, all the superficial shit, like what's on the telly, like, Love Island, or football and all of that. Just absolutely shameful. It's like, when is enough going to be enough exactly? When is enough going to be enough? Anyway, let me see if I can. If the mainstream media won't cover it, most people will never know it. Well, I mean, that's true, but I think it's important that we actually get all the word out there when it comes to all these cases, because if the mainstream media will not talk about it, then fuck it, we'll talk about it at least. And that's what I try to do when it comes to my last episode of Mood of the Nation. And I've seen it a lot for the past day or so. A lot of people are actually making posts about Lola Davier on Telegram. So I think we definitely need to make more posts about that on other platforms like Facebook or Twitter, if people are still on them, of course. When does enough blood become a river? Yeah, good point, Joe. Good point, indeed. The Yellow Vests, Gales and Jillian, need to get back onto the street in larger numbers this time. I can see that, yeah. Definitely see that. I think the breaking point isn't far away. A lot of people are starting to switch on to it now. You could tell by the mood people are Sikh or these politicians don't care for the natives. Yeah, good point with that. There are riots all over Europe and protests we never see on our pathetic media. Uprisings count. Yeah, indeed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move on from there, and then we'll see. We can talk about another topic at hand. Now, these I don't think I need these two anymore because I covered them in the last episode. Now, these articles were sent to me by a follower of mine called Hobgoblin, which I appreciate them doing that. And let me see if I can actually get these ones up here. So I've got two of them. I'm going to see if I can maybe... I'm not going to show them on the screen, but I'm going to decide which one of the two I'm going to cover first of all. And hopefully I'll see if I can cover both of them tonight. If I don't manage to cover them both tonight, I'll see if I can maybe cover the next one in the next video, or the next stream, I should say. And then we'll see from there. So, Tricky Woo, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Greatly appreciate you being here. Let me see just now. Copy and paste. Let me see here. Oh no, wait, that was something entirely different, right? That's fine. This one I think we could definitely have a look into. Now, I'm not sure if people have seen this already, but again, this article was shared to me by a person by the name of Hobgoblin, which I don't know if they're watching just now, but I want to thank them very much for doing so. This is something we could definitely talk about just now in terms of another topic, and then we'll see from there. Let me just share the screen just now. Let's have a look at this article by... It's technically from the Metro, but of course this is on the MSN page here about this. But the title of it reads, I set up the ethnicity awards to help break down society's divides. So already this is going to be a bit of a doozy regarding to this overall article. And I actually do see that a lot of people are not happy with the article, but this is written by Sarah Garrett, MBE. This was written on a Monday, I think it was, maybe this past Monday, but let's have a look at this. My mother came to the UK from Malaysia to train as a nurse in the early 1970s. That's fantastic. Let's have a look at this. A place where famous faces, community campaigners, and business leaders come together in the face of adversity and showcase their heritage. Like, okay, I think one of them I kind of recognize, that fellow there. Now, for those who are into football, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that gentleman in the middle there, was he not like a famous like sports commentator or something like that? I think he's from Liverpool or maybe Manchester, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can actually get the image up here again, and then I'll showcase what I mean here. So, Malaysia has laws that specifically put the Malay ethnicity first as well. I know it's funny that like the sheer irony of that alone is astonishing. But anyway, let me see if I can read up the comments on my phone, and that way you all can tell me if you recognize the gentleman here. Let me see. Perfect. Okay. Let me see. Chris Kamara. I thought that was his name. Chris Kamara. Right. I thought I recognized him because I was like, wait, is that like a famous sports commentator? Or if I'm not mistaken, I thought I'd recognized him. Yeah. Excellent. Right. That's fine then. So let's see what the article here reads about this. So, as it says, she was a truly incredible woman, but growing up, I regularly saw her being treated as a second-class citizen when we'd be out and about, so much so that it became normalized as an everyday occurrence. Seeing the adverse reactions of people towards her compounded in me the general feeling of not belonging. Well, I mean, you're living in a majority white country, so of course there's going to be that sense when you're moving into a country like this. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I see if someone like myself or another white person moves to Malaysia, I wouldn't be surprised if myself or another white person would be treated as a second-class citizen because we're not a native to that country. Oh, but sorry, I keep forgetting. That's okay when that happens. That's completely fine. But if it's vice versa, if it's like a non-white moving into Britain, then they need to be treated like first-class citizens. Well, actually, they need to be treated as like the natives within the country and not be treated as second-class citizens, which really goes to show, doesn't it, folks? It really goes to show. Something I longed for, and that would have really mattered to me, I highly doubt it, was to have some positive representation. I wanted to see people, like members of my family, be celebrated. So I would imagine this would be the part where the Sith Max would then turn around and say, oh, this is like identity politics, and we all need to be, individuals, etc., etc. It's like, no, like it's normal for people to identify or with their own end group preferences. But my point with this being here is, well, if you want to see yourself or people that would represent you in any way like that, then my whole theory would be is just go back to where you came from then, or what your ancestral homeland is. I mean, again, with Malaysia, as someone pointed out in the chat, Malaysia tends to treat the Malaysian people as first class citizens within that nation, and anyone who's not Malaysian will be treated as a second class citizen. But again, it's the whole idea of, or the whole concept of rules for thee but not for me type of argument. But sorry, excuse me. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Again, I knew I needed to help create this change. So 7 years ago, I decided it was time to do something positive to unite people rather than divide, in the hope that I could dissipate some of the ignorance and negative stereotyping that exists. The Ethnicity Awards was launched as part of my wider initiative investing in ethnicity to help underrepresented voices to be heard and to showcase some of the inspiring work people are doing in this space. You have Chris Kamara there, who's like a famous sports commentator. I think he was he was a commentator for was Sky Sports or something like that. Like, what the fuck is she even talking about? Like, it's such fucking bullshit when you then think about all the past celebrities like Chris Kamara and all of that. Like, it completely destroys her own argument. But anyway, continuing on from there, I'm gonna press on that as well. Anyway, the awards are a celebration that raise awareness of all intersections, including Jewish, what a surprise, and ethnic minority communities, while empowering those people too. A place that's a complete joke. A place where famous faces, community campaigners, and business leaders come together in the face of adversity and showcase their heritage. I mean, like, what adversity? At this point in time, we live in an anti-white society where these people are being treated like as if they get everything on a silver fucking platter. But when it comes to us, like the actual native population, we get treated like complete fucking scum. Honestly. Where I was like, oh yes. Sadly, not a lot has changed since my mom has arrived in the UK. In fact, we are a country that is more polarized and divisive than ever. Yeah, that's because of people like you. Like, this is the thing. Like, these people need to understand that all the stuff that we're seeing in the press, in magazines, or the TV and all of that, these people will cope hardest by saying, oh, look at us, we're being represented because of our achievements. It's like, no. It's not because of like genuine representation. It's because you're being used as useful tools for promoting an anti-white agenda. That's what it all boils down to here. I mean, it's just so blatant when it comes to that. Anyway, recent reports here we go, that Chris Kaba was not a suspect before being fatally shot by a police officer in London are compounded by stop and search statistics, stating that black people are still 9 more times likely to be stopped by police compared to their white counterparts. That's probably because there's a lot of crime within black areas. Look at London. London, I believe, is still like there's a lot of knife crime going on in places like London. And gee, I wonder if there's a connection between knife crime and knife crime, or the rise of knife crime, and all the immigrants that are moving into London. Because as we all know, London is no longer an English city. I mean, look at fucking John Cleese. He pretty much said that on Twitter, and of course the vitriol he got that afterwards. But he's right. London is no longer an English city anymore. It's pretty much been overrun by all of these immigrants. And again, this may be me being a far-right conspiracy theorist, but I wonder if maybe there's like a connection between all these immigrants coming into London and the rise of knife crime. And these are the same people that will turn around and say, "Oh, I wonder why the police are trying to arrest us." Can't imagine why as well. I really can't imagine why. Let me see here. This figure is also disproportionately high for other minority communities. Gee, again, I wonder why that would fucking be. I still want to make sure we take time to uplift and draw attention to those making change. That's wonderful. Hate crimes against religious communities are also sadly on the rise, with 42% of religious hate crime offenses in 2021 to 22 targeting Muslims and 23% targeting Jewish people and communities. Well, again, there's a lot of videos that would suggest that most of those types of crimes are actually because of these non-whites doing it to each other. Again, you can even just go onto a big platform like Twitter and see all these videos popping up that these immigrants or these non-whites are actually just fighting each other. I mean, we've seen, I think it was like maybe a month or 2 months ago with the conflict between the Muslims and the Hindus or the Sikhs. I mean, that's like a perfect example of that. And you see all the mainstream media were trying to cope it and trying to act like as if, well, I mean, sure, like, I mean, there's a lot of conflict regarding to that going on just now, but we shouldn't really worry too much about it or something along those lines. But again, to me, that was just another example of why this whole multiculturalism just doesn't really work, because even these non-whites are not really pals with each other. It just really paints a narrative, doesn't it? And I think there was a point someone made on PA this last night's PA talk as well, when they were going through something like that as well. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Similarly, Southeast Asian hate crimes, particularly against Chinese people, have seen a sharp rise in the aftermath of COVID, according to a study from last year's Ethnicity Awards winner End Violence and Racism against ESEA communities. Well, I mean, we've even seen cases like that in America where, funnily enough, the perpetrators who are attacking these Asian people were actually, it turns out the majority of them were black. But I remember when all that was kicking off in America, even the mainstream media will find a way to try and blame it on both Trump and white people. So, yeah, we can have all the evidence to back up our claims that, well, most of these cases are actually done by non-whites, but the mainstream media will always find a way to try and blame it on white people as if it's the white man's fault. Every single time with that. The cost of living crisis will hit most households, but research from non-profit people like us shows that over a third of those from racially diverse backgrounds are currently already unable to cover household bills, a figure set to rise. This is not to mention the multitude of facts and figures that affect minority groups with education, access to jobs, housing, and more. I mean, even with just that alone, when it comes to access to jobs and all of that, I mean, take it from me, I've worked in places recently where there's been a lot of immigrant workers working there. It's like non-Scottish, but again, they were immigrants. So this idea that the average immigrant, regardless if they came here legally or illegally, will find it hard to get a house or a job, total bullshit. I mean, we've heard from other people that that they've been trying to see, like again, putting their names for like renting an accommodation. Apparently, they would be like the last on the list, and the top priority with that would be the fucking immigrants coming in. So where are they getting this idea that that again is it would be hard for these people, these immigrants, to find a house or get a job with that? Again, total bullshit. They would be on top of the list, and they would be the ones to get hired first because they would be viewed as cheap fucking labor. It's astonishing, absolutely astonishing. Against a backdrop of all this hard and heavy news, I still want to make sure we take time to uplift and draw attention to those making change and acting as role models in their communities. The Ethnicity Awards, supported by, oh, here we go, what a surprise, the HSBC UK seeks to celebrate those who work tirelessly behind the scenes, which is, I think, is interesting that is sponsored by this bank, the HSBC. Last time I checked, they were incredibly an anti-white bank who are they're a bank, from what I've heard, who are entirely anti-white, and I think there's like a certain group of people that work with HSBC. So I wouldn't be surprised that they were the ones to sponsor this absolute crap. But anyway, seeks to celebrate those who work tirelessly behind the scenes and organizations that are getting it right for ethnically diverse communities. Right, okay. Sorry, excuse me. Last year, presented by newsreader Charlene White, ironic last name, but anyway, winners such as newsreader Moira Stewart, Brit winner Arlo Parks, football commentator Alex Scott, BBC breakfast presenter Naga Munchetti, I've never heard of them, and online figurehead Munya Chawawa, fucking hell, these names, took to the stage during a fabulous night, while songstress Heather Small entertained the room with a stunning performance. That's wonderful. This year's awards will be no different, and they are set to showcase some of the most prominent stories and individuals, along with the challenges they have overcome during a night of acknowledgement and joy. Now, some of the biggest challenges for ethnic minority groups are found within their own workforce. The Ethnicity Awards followed on from our Investing in an Ethnicity initiative that now works with major companies to ensure that all people, irrespective of ethnicity, can thrive, have fair access to careers, and can see themselves represented in other organizations. So basically, they get all these positions at this point because of, I don't know if you want to call it like nepotism, but basically, again, it's all part of this whole diversity clause and all of that. Never mind the fact that they're possibly not qualified for the job role or anything like that at all. No, we're just going to give you this position, this job, or anything like that, because again, we want to make it all fair for everybody. Like, again, this is just all part of the anti-white agenda of trying to erase white people from these job positions. It's incredibly transparent what they're doing here, but I mean, that's exactly what they're planning on doing at this point. Where was I? Oh, yeah. The Ethnicity Awards Outstanding Employers category recognizes this work and helps elevate the efforts of employers who are ensuring that there is clear commitment to the ethnicity agenda. This year, we saw a sharp increase in organizations that have voluntarily and publicly released their ethnicity pay gap figures from 40% of reporting organizations to over 50%. This was revealed in research carried out by us with companies completing our Investing in Ethnicity matrix. All of this has occurred in spite of the government saying they will not be making such reporting mandatory as they have with gender pay gap reporting. I really want to commend all the organizations who are working against the tide and ensuring that there is fairness and access in the job market for all. Finally, I'm extremely excited to be celebrating with everyone together on October the 27th, so that's 7 days from now, so it's literally next week. And most of all, hoping the awards will help break down the divides we see in society today. Like, it's just, again, you get everything on a silver fucking platter at this point. You get everything on a silver platter here. But again, with these people, it's just never enough. You can give them every single thing. You can give them like free healthcare. You can give them fairer job opportunities and all of that. You can give them every single thing known to man. But it's never enough, is it? It's never enough for these people. Unless we're completely gone, it's never enough for them. And even then, once we're completely gone, they'll still find a way to bitch and complain about it. But anyway, that's the end of that news story there. And I'm actually curious because there is a comment section, and I wonder if maybe if there's people giving their own takes of what's being said. Here we go. From Simon Taylor, dividing people into groups to break down divisions, outstanding logic. I mean, and isn't that racist? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on a minute here. I mean, someone's using again the anti-white buzzwords, but anyway, sounds like this event is excluding people due to the color of their skin, not exactly breaking down divides. Well, I mean, again, it's all these like talking points. Well, that's not what it's ultimately about, is it? It's all about it's just part of the anti-white agenda. 9 times more likely to be stopped. Why is that? Do you think? Oh, that's a pretty good question, but. I wonder what the responses would be like. That's probably in terms of the whole stop and searches for Black people. more likely to be engaged in activity or to be carrying an article. Why is that? That do you so do you think? 51% of the demise thank MSN is by sorry. 51% of demise thanks MSN is the US by whom? 7% of the population. You know the answer, and you also know that MSN won't allow us to articulate it. Good point. It's those darn cyclists. Ah, dear. Ah, dear. Yeah, so there we go. So, of course, a lot of people were not happy with the article whatsoever. But, I mean, it's all kind of like the Civ natty takes about the whole thing, isn't it? But, I mean, it's just, again, another point to make about that. It's just part of the whole anti-white agenda regarding to that. But, anyway, what's been said in the chat just now, I don't know if there's anyone that may have said about that here, but our white friends for foreign countries are on our side. Yep, indeed. I would imagine so, especially with all the things happening over there. But everything is harder if you're are an ethnic. Apparently, yeah, apparently so. But we all know for a fact that's not true whatsoever. Because, like I said, they all get everything on a silver platter. I'm going all out. Crocodile Dundee. That's state of England. London is supposed to be 45%. White, but I'd say the majority of the whites are foreign. Most British whites are only in a few areas and rapidly leaving. Yeah, due to white flight because of the whole migrants keep coming in. Black History Month in England and the Tube adverts don't advertise the knife crime or church attacks. Gee, I wonder why. First Black King of England will help the History Month. Yeah, probably. Why do they never return to their home country to help their own folk once there are doctors and nurses? You know what? That's actually a pretty good question. I guess because they feel like they're entitled to live here, but so they could talk shit about mainly the native populations here, but then they don't want to go back to their ancestral homeland because everything we have over here they can benefit from. Which I mean, really does speak a lot of volumes with that, doesn't it? Really speaks a lot of volumes. Let me see here. Fuck Chris Kamara, he's full of shit. Fair enough. That's the article that I was using as well. Thank you very much. English Rose. That's for people who might want to have a look at it themselves. Of course, he was a shit player who got lucky with Sky. Chris Kamara. Fair enough. I'm not really a sports expert, well, a football expert myself, but I did kind of recognize them. But anyway, that's for a point to make. Anyway. All right, Chief. All right, our pal. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Let me see. You could write the whole of Black history in the UK on the back of a stamp. Indeed, Joe Marsh. Indeed. Got a white lady friend in London. She is desperate to get back home to Gateshead. Can't get a flat though. It must be absolutely devastating to be living in London. I mean, I again, I might have said this before on the show, but I do take my hat off to people who still live in London. I just can't imagine of living in a city like that when there's all that stuff that's going on, especially with the amount of minorities living there. Let me see. They don't return because they know they cannot match our main or nor maintain a Western living standard. Exactly, Sarah Mark. Exactly that. One sec. I just want to have a look at something and see if I can find. I want to see if I can find a post from Wesley because I know he's going to be live at 9 o'clock tonight. Hold on a minute here. Renew Britannia. Let me see here. And I need a pee, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna man up, and I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till the show ends before I head to the bathroom. Yeah, Renew Britannia returns tonight. Tonight's show will be at 9 p.m., but we'll go back to the usual time at 7 p.m. next week and onwards. Fair enough. That's cool. That's cool. That's fine. Oh, God damn it. No, I can hold it in. I don't need to pee. I don't need it. I can hold it in right whatsoever. Yeah, but what I was going to say, I'm going to see if I can post the links for Wesley's stream, which starts at 9 p.m. as I just read out on his Telegram. and then I will definitely see if I can post the links for that later on, just before the show ends tonight. What I could possibly do in the meantime, for people in the chat, a 1 penny stamp to be precise. Yeah. What I would ask for people to do at the meantime, so I've covered the Liz Truss resignation, covered that article just now, which is really good. So that's 2 topics I covered tonight, which is actually pretty decent, much better than, say, on my previous episodes, but that's my opinion on that. What to maybe showcase? You know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna maybe, there was something I really wanted to talk about as well, but I was gonna maybe I really need to pee. Right, what I'm gonna do, folks, if you guys wouldn't mind, I'm gonna get you guys to watch a video. I won't be long or anything like that at all. I'll be right back. So, but I think for this part, we'll make this maybe the last topic we'll discuss tonight, and then we'll definitely see with that, and then maybe if we have enough time, we'll see if we can get into the Q&A section of the stream if you guys want to. But let me see if I can find one video about this. I don't think I'm sharing the screen. No, that's fine, right? There's a little bit of a surprise, but let's have a look at this. Let's see here. Now, I'm not too sure if people have been following this case, but today, earlier today, I've been watching some of the clips on YouTube about this, and it's frustrating to say the least. Absolutely frustrating. So I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to go away for a quick pee, and then we'll come back and we'll talk more about this. So I'll be back in a moment. So bear with me just now, folks.
It don't matter with Detective Casey. He's off the stand. He's not going back on the stand.
No, but I told you I would recall him. I wanted to take it up outside the presence of the jury.
How do I supposed to know?
So are you withdrawing that, sir?
How am I supposed to know? I think I deserve a chance to rebut what was just said. I think I deserve that much if it's a fair trial.
What information do you want to provide to me about that last exhibit?
About what last exhibit? I'm talking about the audacity of the prosecution to just put that on the record when it's stating it's untrue.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's untrue?
We just heard her talk for 5-10 minutes straight. Now don't nobody know what I'm talking about.
I don't know specifically what you're talking about.
There's a reference made to what I'm supposed to know about the evidence stacking up and this and that, as if that has any bearing on what I still think and what I'm still going to present. It doesn't.
That's not what we're talking about at the moment. I made a ruling on an exhibit.
She's been laughing and making comments under her breath the whole time during the whole trial, and I never said nothing. I don't know what's being said, but I can tell that it's directed towards me. I'm not an idiot.
I haven't made any of those observations,
I didn't
sir.
say
What
you.
I've observed,
I didn't say you, Your Honor.
No. What I've observed is
listen, please.
Go ahead.
For her to sit there and try to play it off as if she's not referencing to me, she must think I'm an idiot. That is very disrespectful to me. I haven't said anything about that until today. She's done it numerous times.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're
laughing under her breath. Her trying to cover up the microphone so they can laugh and he and key. That they've been doing that the whole time. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about it.
I have not noticed that. What I noticed are 3 attorneys who cover up the microphone so that they're not heard when they're conferring with each other about evidentiary issues or about testimony.
So why is it always laughing and giggling?
I haven't noticed that other than the one thing you pointed out.
Well, we have cameras. That's what the cameras are for.
Let's refocus our attention on what we're here for, and that's
this
trial.
I'll take that.
Do you have anything you want to put on the record?
I'm putting it on the record if I get a chance.
No, you need to let me finish. As it relates to the video and my decision to admit it.
She just admitted that she just now came with the exhibit. It was not that she just said she just made it an exhibit. It was not an exhibit before she made it one.
So do you have some legal basis, sir, for your position? Because I'm not.
What do I need legal basis for when she just admitted on the record that she just made this exhibit up?
No, she didn't. That is a complete mischaracterization. Sure, she did not
That's what. So she wasn't
Create
implying
the
that by saying
exhibit.
that she can
She did
pull
not make
anything
it up.
out of her suitcase.
So that's a figure of
During,
speech.
okay, so what is
Right.
it implying to? What would that be implying to?
As attorney,
How would anyone?
all right,
How would
I'm
anyone in
moving
my
on
position?
because you're not
How
providing me
would-
with any
How would
legal
any?
basis.
I didn't even finish.
me
You told me that I can make the record. I'm attempting to make the record.
Sir, as it relates to the video and my decision to admit it. do you
I
have
just said
anything-
that you didn't even let me
You're
finish.
not letting me
You
finish.
didn't let me finish either, Your Honor.
Because you're not providing me.
But
you're
how
on a
do you
rant,
know I
you're
wouldn't get to
providing
that if I
commentary,
didn't finish?
You're not providing me with anything from a legal basis for which I would consider changing my mind. So the state's withdrawn their request to play the audio.
Then why play the video at all then?
I've already made a ruling on that. You're questioning the ruling. You're not asking me to reconsider it based on any legal basis.
There should be a legal reconsideration of it.
Then you need to provide me with the legal basis for that, sir.
So I'm supposed to just come off that with off the top of my head?
Yes,
That's ridiculous.
you're representing yourself. It's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So I was supposed to already come in here this morning and say, oh, a video is going to be shown off the fly at the drop of a hat. Let me try to find some legal thing to combat. How
Mr.
am I
Brooks,
supposed to do that?
the bottom line is you opened the door to
It
the
doesn't.
playing
It
of that
doesn't.
video.
We're not talking about
And the
opening
video
no
was
doors.
previously provided to you during
We're
discovery.
not talking
There's
about opening no doors. We're talking about being fair.
There's
Because
absolutely
if I
no
would have did
prejudice
that,
to
Your
you
Honor,
in
with all
terms
due
of
respect,
surprise.
with
by
all
the
due respect,
exhibit.
if I had
Right.
done that,
I am going to move on.
if
from
I
this
had done
topic.
that, it would have
Mr.
been a
Brooks,
big
I'm
thing.
advising you.
Are you
that
asking
you
me?
need. I'm advising you, sir.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I don't know what
advising
that
you
means.
to sit down and
I don't
be
know what that
quiet.
means.
And if you interrupt me again, you are on notice that you will forfeit your right to be present
So
in
you're
this
holding me in
trial.
contempt
Mr.
for the
Brooks,
entire trial? Did you say the entire trial?
I never said any such
You said
thing.
for the trial. So what do
Please?
you mean? I'm asking. What do you
Mr.
mean?
Brooks, you continue to
That is
come
not.
at me.
I don't consent to being called
You
that name.
continue to fight with me.
I'm
You
not
are
fighting
being
with you.
disrespectful.
I'm not fighting with you. I'm not.
I'm
But
going to give
you
you
said I
one
would have
last
the chance to make the
opportunity to
record.
sit down and be quiet so I can make a finding
Are you
as it
asking
relates
me
to
to
other
do
things.
that? Are you asking?
I don't
me
need
do
to
that?
ask, I'm telling you.
Sorry, I forgot the fact I was muted. Sorry about that, but that's me back. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure people have seen that before, and of course, this was something I have been somewhat paying attention to recently, because I thought maybe there might be some updates with that overall case. And from what I've seen, even just today alone, I've been watching quite a few clips of it. It's a complete shambles, isn't it? It's an absolute disgrace of a court hearing. We host lawyers and it's a complete joke, isn't it? I mean, because I was thinking while watching these clips with the whole Darrell Brooks case, the fact that he has no remorse for what he has done whatsoever. Now, I know there's a lot of people that may say, well, he's technically a suspect with this during this overall case at the moment. But I mean, for me, I've seen a lot of evidence that, of course, he has a lot to do with what happened in Waukesha when it comes to the whole Christmas parade terror attack, which I mean it clearly was. So there's clearly no reason why he should not be looked at as the prime suspect. Well, he as a prime suspect, but obviously he did commit those acts with the whole Christmas parade, and the fact that, as I said, he has absolutely no remorse whatsoever. He is like not even like a hint of self-awareness, not like a realization of what he has done, is not only disgusting, but it's also very frightening, the type of person he is. Never come between a man and his toilet visit. Yeah, I mean, there's the old saying, if you have to go, you have to go. But yeah, I'm back now. So this trial has made a complete joke of the American justice system. It really is. Because I was even thinking, could you imagine like being the parent or a loved one of the victims of what happened in Waukesha and seeing all of this unfolding but before your very eyes? I would imagine if I was in that position as being like a parent or a loved one of what happened, I would be absolutely furious to see what is going on. I would just look at this and think, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why are you continuing on to allow him to be just be batshit crazy, but also just have them be completely disrespectful to the victims of what happened during that parade last year. It's just absolutely in shambles. I know that groups like the National Justice Party are talking about this. I think there's been articles on the Justice Report talked about this as well. So I'll definitely want to have a look into that as well. So there's actually a channel I've seen of someone covering this, and again, this was put forward by Eric Stryker, or maybe it was someone from NJP, but the name of the channel is Radix Verum or Radix Verum. It's a woman who's the host of the channel. Don't know if people might have heard of her before, but let me just have a quick look. Hold on a minute here. Because there's a video I saw of her she did today, and I thought this is a pretty well made video. So,
Which exhibit?
and I believe she's live just now. So what I'll do is, if you guys want to give her a sub, I definitely would recommend it. If you're not subbed to her already, what I'll do is I'll just post the stream link she's doing just now. Well, yeah, that's live on YouTube. What to do is, oh, 1 second here. An error occurred. Please wait a moment, then try again. Wait, what the fuck? How has there been an error? Hold on a minute here. Yeah, seeing them still live, so I don't understand why it's not getting. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm still live, so what's going on here? Why is it not allowing me to enter that? Wait a minute. An error occurred. Well, wait a moment till then try again. Well, what was all that about? Can anyone still hear me just now? Because I'm just checking to see. You see, my cousin Vinny, this is my cousin Leroy. I was just gonna say, I don't know why it's not allowing me to put the link in the chat just now. Yes, I can hear. Right, I don't know what that's about then. Don't know if there's like a connection error, but hold on a minute here. Why the fuck is it not? Right, folks, bear with me just a moment. I'll be back in just a moment here. I don't know what's up with that. 1 sec. Back here. Yep, there we're going back. Right, hopefully that might sort it. I don't know what's going on with that, but her stream is, maybe it's because it's a live stream and maybe it's not allowing me to put it in the chat, but let me try it one more time. And if not, all right, so it's put in the chat just now. So that's the link for Radix Verum or Radix Verum's stream that's going on just now. What I would ask you guys to do is just click the link and give her a sub or a follow. And she is live at the moment with the chat opened up. So maybe just write a message. Chief Moody sent me here or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, there we go. So that should be fun and dandy. Because I did check out a video she made earlier today. Again, I've seen this on I think it was Eric Stryker or someone from NJP who shared that earlier today, and I thought, yeah, I really like this. It's really well done. So yeah, I'll give her a follow. And clearly it's something that she really wants to. She's definitely covering the whole Darrell Brooks case. She definitely does come off as someone who's very on our side regarding to that, because she does reference a lot of NGP and the Justice Report and all of that. So yeah, so definitely give her a follow if you can. Judge should be removed. It's obvious that lost control of courtroom and case. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the way Darrell Brooks was acting. I mean, like everything like he was trying to do. It was so transparent. Like just trying to do everything he can to get out of the overall case, which for one, not only makes him out to be a complete utter scumbag for what he's done, but to me it just comes off as he's an absolute coward who won't even stand for what he's actually done. Like he knows for a fact what he's done, but he's just too much of a coward to even admit to what he did was wrong. And he wants to pretend that like he's the victim of this overall case. But yeah, it's just a complete shambles. Yeah, Judge should be removed. I mean, it should be someone that who really will actually take control of the overall case. The fact that they've allowed them to continue on acting like that is just absolutely just shameful. I mean, put it this way, folks: if it was a white person that did that, we all know for a fact that that person would not be in the courtroom for long, or if any case, it would be completely done in a completely different matter compared to what's happening just now with that. Just absolutely just shameful. Judge should be removed if it's obvious that lost control of courtroom case. And then English Rose responded, preferential treatment due to his ethnicity. Yeah, I think, is it true that he's biracial? He's half black, half Hispanic, if I'm not mistaken. If he's found guilty, Biden will probably pardon him. I wouldn't be surprised with that. And even if Biden were to do something like that, I think that does speak more volumes of just how anti-white the Biden administration really is, regarding, especially knowing for the fact of what Darrell Brooks has done. So I know, regardless of what people will say, I know for a fact that Darrell Brooks is completely guilty. But anyway, let's see. That's fine, no worries. Perfect. No worries. Cool. I think I'll just close that for now. So perfect. So it looks oh dear. Biden can't pardon state convictions. Oh, I see. Right. So that's that's a good thing then. Good. You should let me be the judge from Streaky Bacon. Yeah, I would definitely see you as the judge in regard to that. But yeah. So yeah, definitely give her a follow if you can. She definitely seems like someone on our side, so definitely give her a sub and have her support. 8:30 already. I think what we'll do is maybe for the last 15 minutes, maybe we can maybe do like a short Q&A again, like what we've been doing for the past few episodes. So in the chat just now, if you have any questions to ask me, just put in @ChiefMoody and then fire away with your question, and I'll be happy to answer it. We'll make that as the last part of the stream. So that's 3 topics we covered tonight, which is really good. And hopefully we'll finish by the 2-hour mark, or maybe just before that. Because again, I want to finish just before Wesley goes live. And then that way you guys can watch Renew Britannia if you guys want to, because this show starts at 9 p.m. On, I'm assuming, DLive and Odysee. I would imagine he'd be on. So anyway. Let me just, while I wait for the questions, let me see if I can find, if I can maybe quickly find the links for any of these for Wesley's streams, or stream tonight, but on 2 different platforms. I would imagine they'd be on. Damn, I need to sign into that. Right, when Matt Renew. Anya. There he is. Right, perfect. Right, so that's that one. Let me see if I can find on Odysee. I'm pretty sure I follow him on Odysee, if I'm not mistaken. If I haven't, I definitely should. Where am I? Right, so not that one, Ayatollah, but he's going to be live tomorrow night with Arab Social Nationalists. That's pretty based. Let's see. Right, Odysee, Renew Britannia. I have a feeling there might be some questions coming through. There we go. There's his Odysee channel, and I've not followed him. Right, let me change that and give him a follow, and I'll get that sorted out in a moment. Right, I think there was a first question from Austin Advocate. Chief Woody, have you heard of the National Housing Party UK? They have been recognized by the Electoral Commission. I have heard about them. I believe the leader of the National Housing Party is what's the guy's name? Lawrence something. He used to be part of the Tommy Robinson movement, but then he walked away from that. It's Lawrence something. Fuck, that's gonna annoy me now. What the hell is the guy's name? Seems like a good fella. I'll definitely say that. National, and I think with the National Housing Party, if I'm correct in saying, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but is it meant to be more like a council, not a count, but more like a count? How do they say it? Like a, it's like a specific area type of election. So it's not like, actually, hold on a minute here. It's something specifically said about that. John Lawrence, that's the name of the fella. Thank you very much, folks, here from Matt Sally and Marcus Crassus. Thank you very much for making that point. Yes, John Lawrence is the name of the gentleman. Yes. But yeah, from what I've seen of the National Housing Party, I mean, yeah, it's really good stuff, and hopefully they become. Well, I know that they've been registered as a national political party. Hopefully, PA becomes that one day. But nice to see that they've become an official political party. Hopefully, they become a bigger party in the near future. So, of course, I know I'm with like Patriotic Alternative, but I want, if PA doesn't become an official political party, then hopefully it can remain as a community building or community / activist group. That would, of course, I would still support. In terms of the political parties to cast or vote for any future general elections, as long as you've got like the National Housing Party there or any other nationalist group for that matter, then I would definitely support them as well with that. So, John Lawrence is a good man from what I've heard. Yeah, he seems like a pretty good guy. So hopefully, I can maybe have him on at some point, and maybe we can see from there with that as a guest. Chief Rudy, have you ever thrown a banjo at a cat? I have not. I've never actually done that before. Streaky bacon, but thank you for that. So, if I got another question there, Chief Rudy, do you think there will be mass civil unrest in Europe by 2023? And which country do you think it will erupt in? That's actually a pretty good question. I'm not entirely too sure. I would imagine if the trends continue the way they are, especially what's supposedly going to happen this coming winter, I wouldn't be surprised if there might be some uprising going on in the next couple of months, maybe the start of next year. I don't know, but if the trends continue the way they are, and from what I've heard about, they seem to be getting a lot worse. I wouldn't be surprised at some point there will be some form of uprising. Now, in terms of the country that might start that, well, I think again this is just my opinion, of course, but I think we've seen with the recent elections to happen in countries like Sweden and Italy. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of those countries might start, or maybe France might start with that. I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at some point either one of those countries might start some form of uprising, and hopefully that might snowball into more European countries after that. But I don't know. We'll see with that. But I wouldn't be surprised if something like that were to happen. Exile Viking, not a question, more of a statement. You always look like a Canadian logger with your shirts. Yeah, I've always preferred wearing these types of shirts, but I think someone said that before on the show, where I look like a Canadian lumberjack, by wearing these types of check shirts. But I appreciate the comment nonetheless. But thank you very much, Exile Viking. Pat McGuinness. They seem ethno but from outside, but I think Pat McGuinness is the head of it. I'm not sure. Right. So, would it be fair to say that John Lawrence is like the face of the National Housing Party, whereas Pat McGuinness, I don't know if this is true or not, but is like the actual leader of the party? I mean, I don't know if that's like correct or maybe even a fair statement, but I just thought maybe I'd mention that in this case. So, I've been following Big John for years. I know him. That's a fair point. I'm sorry. I would imagine you might know if. I mean, for me, as I said, I know of him. I've heard of him. Well, I know he was quite big in the Tommy Robinson scene, but of course, I guess I'm sure he's seen all the bullshit that was coming out of that movement. And he was like, "No, I'm not going to support that," because they seem like controlled opposition. So he moved on to something else. Which does take a lot of courage for someone to do that, to see that the position that they've been with for a long time, seeing that it's not exactly what it is or it claims to be, but decide to actually move away from that. Which, I mean, commend them for that. Really do commend them for that. Let me see here. What else? There's mass civil unrest all over Europe, except here. Our law have no balls. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but it's the truth. It really is the truth with that. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. That's a Monty Python reference. Yeah, that song. Do you think the uprisings will be about poverty and possibly lead to race? I don't know. I think there might be some form of aspect able to do with like poverty in terms of like the problems with the rise of living costs and all of that, the inflation that's been happening as of late. I think that might play a part in it, but possibly lead to race riots. I don't know. I don't know if it might lead to that. I mean, I think it just really depends on the circumstances with that, whether it be another George Floyd incident or something like that, or I don't know, or maybe another Chris Kaba, because I know they try to make Chris Kaba the next George Floyd here in the UK, but of course that didn't really work out well for them as they hoped. But anyway, France is primed to kick off, followed by Belgium. You know, I mean, wouldn't be surprised, especially what's been happening in France. Let me see. Right. Excellent stuff. Mass demonstrations in Germany every week. Media here ignores it. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to ignore all that stuff in Germany. But it's nice to see Germany are starting to, be speaking out about it in this case. Pat McGuinness is based in London. Big John Lawrence is up north. They have a channel here on YouTube called NHP UK Press Office. I think I'm already subbed to that channel. Wait a minute. Let me check that answer. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I'm already subbed to that channel, but hold on a minute here. I think I subbed to that channel, or maybe I sub to one of the channels, but I'll just have a quick look at that and then see from here. What was the name you put as? Oh, man. NHP UK Press Office, right? 1 second. NHP UK Press Office. Let's see here. Oh, I'm not subscribed to that, right? So it must be a completely different channel. Maybe it was like John Lawrence's actual YouTube channel, but then he renamed it. So I will subscribe to that then and see if I can click on their channel, and I'll just put the link in the chat just now, just in case if there's people who might want to give them a follow, and then of course give them a follow and show your support. Let me see here. That's the link to their channel. That's the NHP UK Press Office. They currently have 692 subscribers. So if you want to give them a sub, then sub to them right away. Let me see. Joe Marsh. White people will only kick off when all their comforts are gone. They will be soon as these clowns in government are going to crash the economy. Yeah, you're right on that one, Joe. Please feel welcome to like the stream and support the channel. Thank you very much, English Rose. I greatly appreciate that. While I'm on the subject of that, so because of what happened to my coffee link, I'll definitely see if I can maybe sort that out in terms of another way of people giving me or financially gifting me or donating to me if they choose to do so. I'm gonna see if I can maybe try and find something else other than coffee as like a replacement to that. And then see from there, of course. That's a video that English Rose put in the chat. That's one of their videos. All right, let's have a. It's about almost. Yeah, I'll see if we can maybe play this video for a bit. It's one of the NHP UK's press office videos, and we'll have a look at that together. So let me see if I can share the screen real quick. From Joe, grift level has just raised to critical. I know I can't help myself, Joe. I can't help myself with the grift. But anyway, yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just watch this video and then I'll put the links for Wesley's stream from DLive and Odysee in the chat just now, and then we'll just call it a night there. But we'll watch this video first, and then we'll just see from there with that. Now, as I said, this video is titled. This was a link that was shared on in the chat by English Rose.
Pat McGuinness.
God damn it, by English Rose. The video is called "We Don't Want the Rwanda Deal." This was uploaded on the 13th of October of this year. I can't believe it's got like 0 likes. I'll give that a like. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's fine. And I'm sure people can click on that link and definitely give that this video a like. Let me see if I can share the stream. Sorry, it was meant to be a link to their channel. No, that's completely fine. In fact, it's actually beneficial that we get this video up here anyway. English Rose, it's really great for you to do that. So let me just get to this one here. Definitely give him a sub, folks, if you can. That would be much appreciated. But anyway, this video is about 3 minutes and 37 seconds long, so we'll give this video a watch and then we'll call it a night there. So let's have a look at this. So from the NHP UK press office channel, 3, 2, 1.
Right, Pat McGuinness, NHP UK press officer. I'm at the High Court today where the hearing for the Rwanda flights is taking place. And the usual suspects are trying to stop these Rwanda planes from taking off. But let's be clear about this. Let's talk about what the Rwanda deal entails. The Rwanda deal entails that every single body we send from the dinghies to Rwanda are going to send us a refugee back who is disabled. So it's a 1-for-1 on that basis. Also, in the dinghies are going to continue to come, and the government have clearly said that if there's any women and children in the dinghies, they will never be sent to Rwanda. So what that means is the dinghies will gradually be filled up by women and children. We do not want this deal. We want to completely exit the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. This is the only solution to stop this crisis. There is millions of people around the world who are going to flock to this country if we continue to be signed up to that convention. So I'm here at the High Court. GB News are here. I'm going to try and have a word with them, but they're not very keen on talking about this elephant in the room, exiting the 1951 Refugee Convention.
Just pausing that real quick. That's really interesting. I wonder why GB News would not want to talk about that. Which I actually agree with. I think this is a very good point to make by Pat here, wanting to exit the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. Because I think obviously people in the UK are not in favour of this whatsoever. So I think we should remove ourselves from that. So I wonder why GB News would not want to talk about that whatsoever. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Really makes you think.
So you've got Farage, the Tories, everyone on GB News keeps saying that the Rwanda deal is the only option. The Rwanda deal is just going to be kicking the can down the road. The only option what will solve the crisis is to completely stop accepting refugees and send a message out to the world that we're not going to be accepting anymore, and they need to be criminalised and put in prison for entering our country illegally. And then once they're in prison, if they still continue to refuse to give their identity, they stay in prison until they do. And we need to introduce firm laws to prevent people coming here.
Mm-hmm.
And the NHP UK, one of our ideas is a 3-year prison sentence for illegal entry into the UK once we have left the Refugee Convention. Now, we would give an amnesty for this 3-year prison sentence if the estimated 2 million illegal immigrants leave our country by a date set. A date needs to be set. If they leave by that date, they get the amnesty of the 3-year sentence. Most of them will probably leave, but only on the condition they give us their fingerprints, DNA, and photograph when they leave at an airport or a seaport.
Yeah.
So basically,
sorry, just real quick. So just in case if they might want to come back again, then we got information that this is what happened the last time. I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. This would be the last part here. We'll just finish off the video and then move on from there.
basically we need to build thousands of detention centres to put these illegal immigrants into, and they stay there until they agree to leave if they refuse to give their identity. Now, these detention centres will be designed so we can then turn them into social housing for our own people, where there is an estimated over 1 million people of our own people on social housing waiting lists. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do not want the Rwanda deal. This is not the only option. The only option for the solution of the global crisis is to completely stop accepting refugees for citizenship. Pat McGuinness, NHP UK press officer at the High Court.
There we are. Excellent. Really good video. I think that was like the only I gave it. Well, I did give it a like, of course, but what I'm going to do is I'll keep it open for me because I might want to use this to open for an ending song for tonight's video for ending, of course. Oh, I think that's John Lawrence in the chat just now. If it is, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Greatly appreciate you being here. Saying, well said, Pat. Rwanda only taking 200, but will send back 200. Yeah, indeed. If that is John Lawrence, I don't know if it actually is him, but if it is him, then John, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Greatly appreciate you being here. What I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to post. Yes, it is. No worries. Thanks. No worries. Well, thank you very much. What I'm just going to do is for that video, I'm just going to post it in the chat as well. I know it's already been posted in the chat, but for those who haven't done so already, please click on it, give the video a like, and also give them a follow on YouTube if you can. It's the channel, of course, is the NHP UK press office. So definitely give them a follow if you can when it comes to that. And it's doing that again for some reason. God damn it! Oh no, it's coming up now. I don't know what's going on with my username in the chat, but it's a bit weird. Anyway, I think what I'll do, folks, is that will come to the end of tonight's episode. What I'm just going to do quickly is put the links for Wesley Russell's stream in the chat. So that way, once my show comes to an end, head on over to either DLive or Odysee, and then watch Wesley Russell's stream from there. Good evening as well, Roscoe. Thank you very much for watching, but unfortunately, we are out of time. I'm sure you can watch the stream on the replay if you can. Just one last question from Seramer. He writes, question, Moody, with respect, screw your ending song and put on my last video that premiered today. We'll have a quick look, and then we'll see from there with that regarding to that. Hold on a minute here. I'm just going to see if I can put the links for, if it will let me. I don't know what's up with my username in the chat. For some odd reason, it's just not allowing me to. Having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection. Like again, I don't know what all that is about. I mean, it's coming up now. Again, it's really bizarre that. It's really bizarre. Like it doesn't work, but then it does work later on, as you can all see there. Well, at least from my screen, it's like it's shown up as it's not putting through, having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection. But then after that, it then shows up in the chat. I don't know what that's all about. But I think what I can see here is they're coming up on within the chat just now. So for, hopefully the Odysee link will come up in a moment here. It touches on the conditions of life that killed Lola. Right. Okay. Excellent. I'll have a look at that, Saramar, on the mat. Right. So those links for Wesley's stream are in the chat, so that way people can go and watch that after the show ends. I'm going to see if I can have a look at Saramar's channel and then see from there. This is the one. Yeah, just one sec, folks. I'm going to see if I can. Right. Well, I mean, yeah. Hold on a minute here. Let me see, because the videos are about 11 minutes long. What to do is I won't play the videos for the ending for tonight's stream or to end the stream with. What I will do is, for people who haven't done so already, give Saramar a follow or a sub. I'll hit the link for his channel in the chat just now. Again, if it will go through. Let's see. Part 3, the birth of an idea. And people can watch it from there. I'll be watching John Davidson after this. That's if he's on at 9 p.m. That's fair enough. If you want to check out, the link won't show up when I post it. I think it's all to do with like the host of the chat of the what is it, the StreamYard can only show it again when it comes to that. But hold on a minute. I'll be watching John Davidson. Yeah, John Davidson with that in a moment here. Right, that's fine. I don't know why it keeps on. Because from my internet, it seems to come up like okay. I don't know what all that is about, but wait a minute. Probably might come up in a second here, but if it doesn't, I'll see if I can get that sorted out in a moment. Right, let me see if I can get this up here in a moment. Second here. There was actually something I did see earlier on today that I can maybe play for the ending for this tonight's stream. But thanks, mate. Yeah, no worries. You're very welcome, Sarah. Definitely give Sarah Moore a follow, folks, and check out that video Sarah Moore has put in the chat, which is part 3, the birth of an idea. Definitely check it out, folks, if you can. With that, folks, watch Wesley or Renew Britannia at 9 p.m. or watch John Davidson if he's live at 9 p.m. Give Sarah Moore a follow and also watch his recent video, and also follow the NHP UK press office on YouTube if you can. And with that, folks, that's going to be the end of tonight's episode. We covered 3 topics, and we watched the NHP video, and of course we got up to the 2-hour mark, which is actually excellent, which is really good to see. So I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's episode. I will be back on Sunday. I don't know if I'll have a guest on then. I know I keep saying this, but I'll see if I can have a guest on then. If not, I'll continue on covering other topics. I'll maybe have a guest on next week. But again, I'll just need to wait and see what happens with that. So thank you for a great stream, and please take care, everyone. Same to yourself, English Rose, and everyone else as well. So please watch the Sunday stream, which is episode 118 at 5 p.m. on a Sunday. I'll keep you guys up to date with the post on Telegram again, just so that it's all up to date with that. So, and that's going to be it for tonight's stream. I hope everyone enjoyed. I'll be back on Sunday at 5 p.m. Any updates or anything like that at all, I'll keep you guys posted in the near future with that. Sorry I got here really late again. No worries, Aunt Sally, but hopefully you can watch the replay, of course. Great stream. Good night all. Same to yourself, Marcus. Thanks for watching. If I have happening on, if you dare, fair enough, Sarah, fair enough. We'll have a look and see. Thank you for No More Cryptos. Ode to a Dying People by Saga for End Song. Oh, good point, Joe Marsh. Actually, let me have a look into that. 1 second here. Ode to, what was it? Dying People by Saga, you said, right? Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I'll see if I have a look at that. No worries, Joe. Thank you for the suggestion, of course. With that, folks, that's going to be it tonight. I'll be back. I'll be back on Sunday at 5 p.m. of course. But with that, thank you all very much for watching. This is Chief Moody signing out. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and good night. Thank you.
Eyes shining bright with unspilled tears, thinking about all those wasted years, when everything worth living for is gone. And brother, I find it hard to keep fighting on. Falling down towards the abyss, the reaper embraces me with his kiss. It makes me want to refuse to care, to watch this all unfold, too much to bear. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, I can't bear to witness. Disease encroaching on all I hold dear. But somehow I gotta get my soul out of here. Heart of agony, faint burning hole. I'm finding it hard to try to cope. The coast lies on the world with a concrete voice, with a concrete voice. A wasteland of the meaningless noise. We don't stand a chance with a dormant pride, with a dormant pride. The heroes of a race have already died. This is the way it ends. If this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, oh, I can't bear to witness. Jimmy had us all glued down to this. Apathy and suicide place. It's all over except for the crying. The whimper instead of the roar of the lion. The greatest race to ever walk the earth, walk the earth. Dying a slow death with insane mirth. The tomb has been prepared, a race betrayed, a race betrayed. White men fight the fight towards the grave. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, oh, I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, oh, I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, oh, I can't bear to witness. Don't let it end this way. Don't let it end this way. Don't let it end this way. I can't bear to witness. Don't let it end this way. Don't let it end this way. Don't let it end this way. I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, oh, I can't bear to witness. If this is the way it ends, if this is the way my race ends, if this is the way it ends, oh, I can't bear to witness.